Does anybody else struggle with everything? And I mean, in this case, I guess what I'm struggling with is organizing the thoughts in my head. And it is Monday morning. We had a really fun weekend yesterday with Super Bowl. Our son, Crow, was just so pumped up for the Super Bowl. He's such a sports fan. He sat we were at a friend's house and he sat in front of the TV. The other kids were playing and he would ebb and flow with them. But towards, like right around halftime show, he came in, he sat down and he was glued to that screen and he was rooting for the Chiefs. And he was the only one in his class that wanted the Chiefs to win. And he was so passionate about it. And he was sitting there, our friend who was hosting the Super Bowl party, said to me, or commented to me about how Crow knows all the rules. Like, she was really impressed that he knows all the rules of football. And he certainly didn't learn that from me or his other dad. But, he watches a lot of playthroughs and sports on YouTube. So that's probably where he's getting it. But nonetheless, he's so passionate about sports. And so we're coming off that weekend, great weekend. I've had a great couple weeks of shooting and processing photos and editing things and working on our Italy video that's still coming along. Matt and I have not been together all that much during the week. We've had different projects going, so it's been harder to make things happen together, which is why I'm here on my own today. But I guess I wanted to sit down today and just kind of talk and share a couple of things and also follow up on a video I did about closer to 3 months ago, where I talked about my struggle with dipping down into these little puddles of depression throughout my life. But as I'm sitting down here trying to, have this, as I'm sitting down and trying to organize my thoughts of how am I going to approach this conversation, I just can't get it straight in my head. I don't know if it's because it's Monday or because I had such an extreme high this weekend. We had so much fun. And so it's like, Monday is kind of like you're dipping down and it's like back to reality. So you're that kind of a feeling, but I don't really feel like that. I feel pretty motivated. I feel good. The sun is shining for the first time in a week here in Southern California. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just scrambled eggs everywhere. And cha-cha. And not the good kind of scrambled eggs, like scrambled eggs from like Denny's scrambled eggs, the kind with the fake butter and they're not really cooked all the way and they probably came out of a box, like powdered slimy boinky eggs. I don't like boinky eggs. Listen, that being said, I guess what I'm going to roll with right now after the Super Bowl talk and everything else is that conversation I had a few months ago about depression. Now, at the time, I was meal prepping and I was just looking for anything. I was trying to grab anything I could. I feel, speaking of boinky, I can feel my hair. I just washed my hair, so I feel like I should have a hat on. I feel like a bit of a clown, but I need a haircut. What was I saying? Oh, at the time I was meal prepping and I was looking for anything that I could latch onto and say, okay, this is the direction I'm going to go. This is a step I'm going to take to pull myself out of this rut. And at the same time, trying to reality check myself, like, come on, it's really not that bad. Like I'm blessed beyond all riches. But I do have, like, I struggle with this feeling inside, pull your shit together type approach to myself. And so that's what, what I was trying to do at the time. And I was meal prepping and that was helpful and useful. And then, I just slowly became, over the weekends, I didn't want to spend half my Sunday meal prepping when that was my time with the kids, or that was my time to do something else that I don't get to do with the family. So that kind of fizzled out relatively quick. And that was okay because I feel like for the week or two, like it helped me kind of have something to focus on. I don't think that the fact that I had a meal prepped for me that I didn't have to cut out in the middle of the day and go make, I don't think that necessarily helped me. I think it was more of the idea that I took a step, right? So that got me thinking. And, I'm a creative person, as is my husband, as are my kids in different ways. We're a very creative family, and that's just something that we thrive on. And I love writing music. I love building things. I love, designing how I'm going to build the trim around my door. It seems basic carpentry, but at the core of it, this is a home, and we're customizing it. This is going to end up being our custom home. We're building it, we're hollowing it out, and we're designing it as we go. So even that I find an outlet, a creative outlet, when I'm, doing little DIY projects around the house. But I was still missing something. I was still feeling like, what? I needed a refresher. And I came to my camera that I am sitting in front of today. And I realized that this was something I wanted to do. I wanted to explore in a different way photography. And so I've been doing that. And well, listen, we've been at this YouTube game for 8 years plus. I don't know. I can't even keep track of time in that sense, but we've been at it for a while. So I've had these cameras in my hand for years and taking family photos for years. So, I know the ins and outs of them. And I just thought, like, what if I focused on photography, but didn't focus on my family? What if I turned to photographing other people, maybe curating a couple more artsy, curated type photo shoots? Let's just play. Let's feel like we're playing, Blue. Come on. And so that's what I've been working on, and I've had such a great time. I've met some cool people along the way. I reached out to a lot of people about working with me, and made some great connections. And so overall, every aspect of it has pushed me in some way. It's pushed me to be more engaging and reaching out to people, and not be such a homebody, not be such a, introverted hermit type person, which I tend to be when I go through these periods of times of just staying at home. So that's been a big step for me. I've also felt great about, the outcomes of some of my shoots. I recognize I have a long way to go. I have a long way to grow, but I don't know if that's ever going to stop. I think that the idea is that I don't ever stop growing and don't ever stop feeling the need to be better at whatever I do, not just photography, but everything. I keep looking at this because off to my right, there's a door that needs to be built in. So it's a project. I'm going to be creative. I'm going to make that. Anyhow, so that's where a lot of my focus has been. And have found it very rewarding. And I also feel like it has me pushing myself to do that. I didn't do that on my own. I mean, I did, but my husband, has pushed himself to do other things too. And I think that I've seen that, I've recognized that, I feel empowered and encouraged by that. And I feel like it has just kind of breathed some more oxygen and just kind of given us space to move a little bit. And that's been really healthy, I think, overall. So I guess what I'm saying is I keep putting one foot in front of the other, and I'm starting to feel the results of that. I don't know how much I'm seeing, but I'm feeling it. And I would rather feel it inside than see it most immediately. Like the fact that I feel different makes me believe I'm on the right path. I'm wondering like who out there can identify with this. Like, do you have a similar scenario or situation where you're feeling a little, just stagnant and you need some kind of fresh step, fresh direction? I mean, I know that in life, like life becomes so mundane and every day you wake up and go to work, whatever, it's a routine. I'm just wondering like how off am I from everybody else and feeling this? Even if I'm the only one that feels this way, I'm glad that I do. And I recommend, putting yourself out there and reaching for something that is a passion of yours that you want to do too. That being said, I do want to share with you a couple of pieces that I've had framed. I showed it in our last video. I did a little tutorial of some color correction I was doing and some lighting correction I was doing on a portrait of somebody that I took. His name was Zach. That was previous video. Maybe I'll put a card here if I remember. If not, just go to our page and look for that. So the first one I want to share with you, and hopefully, maybe I'll just put a little layover here because I feel like the light is going to be glaring on it, it's a wildflower from Colorado. And I took this in, 2018, 2019 when we lived in Colorado. And these were flowers that growing up in Colorado, I would always see. These were always just in the Indian paintbrush flower. It would grow out on the, the plateaus of the monument we lived in, or, just the meadows, whatever. They're everywhere and they're bright red colors and they're beautiful. And I had taken this photo at the time and it got buried. It was just in my Lightroom. I never did anything with it. And I stumbled across it and I thought, that's not necessarily something that like makes my clock tick as far as photography goes, but I have such a love for it. And I don't have these flowers where we live in Southern California. So why not, make the print available, frame it, mat it, and put it in this cool little copper frame. And bam, now we have this beautiful memory that I can hang up on our walls. And I will always remember Colorado. That's going to be available soon on our website, 25 North. There are a few things that I'm tweaking as far as frames go. So I have a couple more samples coming. I just want to make sure it's presented the way I really see it being presented. But that one's pretty close. This one, there's a few things that, again, with the frame, this is Marcelino. This was the first shoot that I shared. See if I'm getting the whole thing up there, but I'll put a layover if you can't see it quite right. And I had this matted in frame. This is a maple frame and it's a really nice frame. I really like it, but there's another frame that I kind of want to see how it looks. So I have that coming and they're matted and I have it in reflection proof, reflection free, anti-reflection. I forget what they call the glass. But it's not as reflective as the Colorado Indian paintbrush flower that I just showed you. But this, I just love. I love it. It makes me feel so proud that I took this picture. And I don't know how cheesy that sounds, but I think as a whole, this represents something really important to me. And it represents not just that, oh, look, I took a picture of this handsome dude in a cowboy hat, but it was also, I made a connection with somebody. I made a friend, I would like to call him. I made a piece of art. And at the time, like, obviously when I was taking the pictures, I knew it was special, but I didn't know how far I would take it. And now it's framed and it looks like a gallery piece and it's in our house. And I can't quite get over it. Every time I look at it, I was like, I can't believe I did that. Anyhow, that's going to be available on our website as well, 25north.com. And in the next, I don't know, I would say a couple weeks. But to bring it back around, I guess what I'm going to tell you now is that I can't imagine being in this place that I'm in right now, feeling as optimistic as I do about my creative drive going into, focusing all my attention on photography. I can't imagine feeling this way 3 months ago. But I recognize something. I took some steps. I was encouraged to chase this passion of mine. I guess in closing, my message is we have to take care of ourselves. We have to do the things we want to do. If they're not hurting anybody and you want to do them, I think we should do them. This is what I've been doing for me to check my mental health, to make sure I am on the right path for me. I've also been doing things, hitting the gym harder than I normally did, committing to that process for myself. Physical activity for me has always been something that keeps me above the surface as far as feeling depressed or even a little anxious or, worn down. That has always helped for me. I'm right back there every day that I can get to the gym. I'm going at least 5 days a week. I'm focusing on my photography. I'm doing some editing stuff, trying to focus on some home projects. So our surrounding environment on the day-to-day isn't a complete shit show, which it kind of is at the moment. But I want that to be a reflection of how I feel. So that's something I'm always trying to maintain too. And every day is just an effort. You got to make an effort every day. And that's what I'm doing. And I hope that you are too for yourself. If you want to check out our website, 25 North, please do that. There will be in like a week or two, my prints should be up for sale. We'll probably announce it on our Patreon page first, which is free to follow, patreon.com/mountainblue. There are also 3 different tiers of subscription that you can subscribe to, but you can follow it for free. And now I think I have to pose for a picture. I've been asked before, what is the most challenging part of making YouTube videos? And there are so many things that are challenging about it. One is just coming up with the content. Like, what are your videos going to be? There was a time that you could do stupid challenge videos. Chapstick challenge. It's challenging, especially when you're parents and you're raising kids and you have jobs and projects and things that you're doing. Like, it gets really challenging to have the brain capacity to be like, what kind of YouTube video are we getting into this week? But once you even get that, you get the concept down. I'll tell you what's even harder than that. One, a thumbnail. Finding the right picture, because we as humans, we just if something doesn't please the eye, we don't click on it, right? The other thing, title. Title of a video. Peace of the world. I gotta go pick up the kids. Toodles.